A nation that destroys its soils, destroy itself. Forests are the lungs of our land, purifying the air and giving fresh strength to our people. This quotation by Franklin D. Roosevelt may have tickled the brilliant minds of the local government unit of Bogalion, manned by Honorable Jomel Anthony I. Spino, when they came up with the urban art garden idea. Man's trash, alarming it may seem, could be another man's treasure. The idea is simple. We can sustainably reuse many materials as garden features and containers. The LGU had conceived the idea of the urban art garden as a response to Mother Nature's plea. Several meetings with the 6 high schools in town were held. Memorandum of agreement between the LGU and the 6 high schools as pilot schools were finalized and eventually signed. The Urban Art Garden was launched at Salumagi National High School last September 27, 2016. As a committed implementer of nature preservation, Irene Rayos Sumbak National High School had positively responded to the LGU's program. After the launching in the school, Mrs. Elsie A. Cunanan, the school principal, with some earth-loving teachers, at once planned the implementation of the school's urban art garden. The old mathematics park was the chosen site since it is the most conducive one for gardening. The clearing and cleaning of the site was participated by some students, guided by their teachers. Ornamental plants were cut down. Big stones and other unwanted materials were removed, making the site now ready for planting. Improvised cedars and seedbeds were created out of recycled plastic cups, styro fruit cases, and used plywoods. After 3 days of proper sunlight and nutrition, seeds start to germinate, and so it's planting time. Seedlings were transferred to plastic containers and other recyclable materials, such as basketballs, shoes, boots, pails, rice cooker, and logs. During the nurturing period, animal manure and madre cacao were used as fertilizers. Detergents and minced siling labuyo was used as homemade pesticides that were sprayed to some aphids-infested plants. And to sustain the nutrients of the garden, plant boxes were used as compost pits. The Agriculture Office, through Sir Chris Ballesteros, gave vermicast for a start. After 3 to 4 weeks, vegetables bloomed and are now bearing fruits. Before harvest, name tagging was done. Sample plants were identified. Harvesting is really a fine time for those who plant. We harvested for 12 times, monitored and witnessed by the Agriculture Office staff. As per our records, we were able to harvest 2.25 kilograms of eggplant, 4.5 kilograms of kangkong, 3.5 kilograms of okra, 34.3 kilograms of pechay, 2.15 kilograms of pipino, 4.13 kilograms of sitaw, 25.4 kilograms of squash, 18.3 kilograms of tomatoes, 1.125 kilogram of siling haba, and 107.45 kilograms of upo. Every child is a different kind of flower, and all together make this world a beautiful garden. With our desire to keep our students be the most important element of our garden, we give them one basic need for them to blossom, and that is food. Every time we have more than sufficient, we apportion our harvest for feeding selected students. As of today, we had conducted 4 feeding sessions. The first was given to our top performing students as a reward for their outstanding records last December 16, 2016. The next was January 16 and was given to some of our wasted students, for we believe veggies is the answer for their nutritional problem. The recipients of our third feeding program conducted last January 24 were those who are really vegetable lovers. So the suited munggo with ampalaya and kangkong we prepared was simot sarap. With our efforts to make our feeding program not just a pen and paper report, we invited the LGU staff during our 4th feeding to witness it last January 31, 2017. Fresh from the garden veggies were cooked as viand by the students who had been helping us from the very start of the urban art gardening. Students, teachers, and the LGU staff enjoyed the boodle fight with the innovative recipes being served. Truly, a full stomach radiates through a genuine smile. Aside from our feeding program, a part of our harvest were sold to some of the teachers. The garden had instantly become an income-generating program. The total amount of 2,382 that we were able to raise was more than enough to pay all the sweat that we had. Kobe Bryant once said that the most important thing is to try and inspire people so that they can be great in whatever they want to do. Putting up the garden itself and seeing its beauty and benefits as it grows is already a joy. But seeing our students with their families replicate it brings us a feeling of elation. Some of our students and teachers showed their greatness in imitating the garden in their own backyards. Mr. Armando T. Del Rosario, one of our head teachers, was inspired by the urban art garden. So, he cultivated his 150 square meter idle lot located at the back part of the school into a vegetable garden. He is now earning not less than 1,000 for every harvest. Mrs. Hilda S. Biray also did the same thing. She planted eggplant, sili, okra, and squash in cement bags and mineral water containers in her backyard. She tells us with the pride that she no longer buys veggies. She just picks them right there in her backyard. Several students invited us with excitement to visit their garden too. Jasmine R. Ripones, a 7 Luna student, excitedly poses in the camera as she waters and harvests in her garden at Kupang Umanday. Since they don't have enough space to grow some vegetables, mineral water containers and cement bags are the main materials of their garden. Jessa Garingarao, who is from Poblacion, joyfully took a picture of her garden. With her garden, we literally saw an urban art garden, for they really don't have a space in gardening. But inspired by the school, she, together with her mother Marcelina, utilizes their plant box, broken pails, and mineral water containers. Now they were enjoying their okra and pechay, freshly picked from their urban art garden. Mark Christian Octit, a 10 Bacon student, owed us as he showed his garden with pride. Pipino, eggplant, ampalaya, and sitaw were so green and lusciously growing in cement bags. Her mother Marilu happily tells us that she loved our idea of gardening when she once visited the school and thought of doing the same thing. And so, she utilizes every inch of their surroundings. John Mark Yanesa, a senior high school student, shyly showed his sitaw and kamote richly planted in cement bags. He even promised that he will develop his garden as soon as he finds the time. John Denver Quison was able to have his own garden too, using mineral water containers and flower pots which were no longer used. His father Ronnie, who is at present our PTA president, promised that he will support the project by developing their garden, which has been started by his son Denver. Truly, IRONHS was so happy and is still hopeful that the goodness brought by the urban art gardening will continue to spread and multiply. And our ultimate goal, a modern and beautiful stage.